Hey everyone, this is Jason here at Grand Slam Sports Cards and Comics, and this is another Secret War journal coming to you. And I'm still Secret Warrior, and I hope you are all Secret Warriors still too. This week is the first week of August, just a whole new slew of books, just tons of them. So I'm going to try to go through these a little faster. As usual, I try to reserve my nicer ones towards the end, the ones I really get into. But the ones I'm going to it could be a long video, so I got to get going. So let's get into it. Uh, Little AVX Marvel versus X-Men giant size little Marvel versus X-Men. Scotty Young, he's just on top of his game with what he's doing here. The penciling's great. The art, like if you like Scotty Young art, this is just a great book to get. They're just doing goofy stuff. It's still a kid's book. There's Sesame Street theme song. A lot of fun stuff. Just kind of, we get to see these two twins, and like basically they're trying to be wooed by both the X-Men and the Avengers, and they kind of go through a whole bunch of different things. It's a fun book. It's art. I wouldn't call it like, it's not literature. It's art, but it's not literature. So if you like that kind of brand of stuff, definitely check this one out. It is super, super cute. There's just super big battle scenes. Like this is a scene from the Danger Room. Just cool stuff. So like I said, I don't hate this book. It's just not, there isn't much to talk about. It's just fun if you like to have fun. Who doesn't like to have fun with a comic book? Age of Apocalypse issue number 2. Once again, the Age of Apocalypse stuff is kind of lost on me. In this one, it kind of develops a little more. We're still kind of learning about the relationships with all the people. It's from the perspective of this kid who's got some powers, like mental powers, and it's a mess of X-Men goodness. If you got to be a little. I like the X-Men, but I'm not as hardcore as I used to be. I imagine if you were really into the Age of Apocalypse, this would be a lot of fun. Once again, I thought this was going to be a lot more serious. I thought it was going to be really cool, like courtly play and all that stuff that was kind of previewed in issue 2 of Secret Wars, and it just kind of fails to live up with that. So this is kind of a pass for me. I'm still reading them, but it's just not something that hasn't really caught my attention yet. But once again, that's me. If you're into this X-Men stuff, the old kind of 90s stuff, I think you would be a big fan. Spider Island number 2. In this one, we have a spider team, and it's just craziness. There's a team that's going in, and they're trying to do something, and they run into this whole Sinister Six thing, and they're all spidered out. Everybody has a spider virus, so we find like different just wacky versions of people from the Marvel universe. And they get spidered out, and there's Iron Man, and Venom is kind of the leader of all this stuff, and he's kind of a strike team. And anyways, he gets all these Avengers. He tries to like calm them down, and they're gonna go on another job to do something. And Venom's the leader of the team. Captain America's like, hey, we need you to go do this, dude. And he kind of puts him in charge. Just goofy, kind of. Spider Island, I don't remember it being this manic, I guess, or this just too much stuff, but this isn't what I want it to be. I think the Spider-Verse book is much better than this, which is surprising because it's a Gwen Stacy centered book, but I like that book a lot more. This book is just a lot of shenanigans. But there's fun stuff in there. Tony Stark has to get sprayed with a spray that turns him into Green Goblin. He makes a Green Goblin iron suit. There's cool stuff in here that you might get behind. So that's my thoughts on Spider Island. Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows, number 3. Great book. This is still going really strong. Peter Parker has to fight. He has to fight for his family now. He's wearing the black suit, so he's a little more aggressive. It's kind of like just a really aggressive guy. Regent's kind of in charge of everything, and he's trying to fight back against him. Regent wants Spider-Man. He wants to incorporate him into his cool power set at all costs. He has a Sinister Six that they're moving around. They figure out where his kid might be going to school. There's a huge conflict that's getting ready to happen. And yeah, like Spider-Man's having to make some tough decisions right now. And it's a lot of fun. It's the essence of what we get from Spider-Man. This is still a good Spider-Man book. This would be something that you could even see into a Spider-Man story. I just don't see a world where the Avengers lose and Regent takes over and all that. But this is cool. So if you like Spider-Man, check this one out. I dig this one as far as Spider-Man books go. Civil War number 2 expands on the Civil War ideas from the first story. You have the Blue Zone versus the Iron. There was a murder last issue where the person bringing them together, who's someone very important, and I can't remember her name, but I can find out. Miriam Sharp gets assassinated, and she was kind of important in the Civil War story. And excuse me, excuse me, sorry about that. In this one, we're trying to figure out what exactly happened, who made this happen, because it wasn't Tony and it wasn't Steve, but there's outside forces kind of working around it. So they have to figure out, it's a mystery. So they're going to try to solve the mystery, and they're both trying to do it at the same time. And it ends up with, the Tony Stark is in love with She-Hulk, and they're conspiring. I don't know if they're in love, but they're lovers. And they start to conspire to figure out how to break into Steve Rogers' big city. You get to see both the capitals in this city of each of their places. They're both super cool looking. The Steve Rogers one's like a big shield. It looks like a big Captain America shield. I'll show it to you. Lionel Francis, he's a great artist. He's a fun artist. So you have Steve, and he's conspiring with Peter Parker to work, and you have Tony Stark and She-Hulk, and so it's some interesting stuff. It doesn't, I don't know what it has to do with the whole Battle World scheme and everything, but it's kind of, once again, it's kind of a fun, if you enjoy Civil War, it's kind of an interesting what if, like what would happen after Civil War in this alternate universe. So that's Civil War for you. Good book. I enjoy the art, good writing. It's a lot of fun. All right, so now we're going to get into the Battle World books, and Battle World books, clearly at this point, like, these are books that are tied more into Battle World and the whole story overall. Siege number 2 is concentrating on the Shield, and here is Abigail Brand, and she's kind of in charge of the Shield. And this was a book that really blew my mind. The first one, I was like, oh man, this is going to be a key book. And so they're trying to manage the fall of the wall. Like, they're trying to keep things back, and she's in charge, and you kind of see that things are going bad. Kang, the Conqueror, is warning them and letting them know the wall's going to fall in 20 days, and so they're kind of having to deal with all that. Beautiful art in here. There's lots of cool relationships. Every so often you get like a cool flashback 2-page panel from her journal, and it's different art. It's a different artist, but you can see them. They're trying to basically manage this. The Ultrons are getting ready to attack the wall. They're having to figure out how to keep the wall from completely falling, even though Kang told them that it's going to fall. So there's lots of neat beats in here. I can't even really get into each and every really neat thing. There's characters. There's lots of cool characters in here, and I like this art. It's got a little bit of the indie feel, so it might not be for you, but it's definitely for people like me. So Siege number 2, Kieran Gillen is a great writer. He gets to do cool stuff. I would expect big things from him in the future from Marvel. Ultimate End number 4. We got one more issue of this left. So at this point now, what we know is that in New York, we have both the 616 and Ultimate Universe, and they're colliding and they're fighting. And, Tony Stark is rallying, like the Tony Starks are having a dispute between each other, and you're basically just going to have both of those people colliding. And we get a whole thing where this is Dr. Doom's plan. This is Doom's plan, is he put these people in the same city to have them just murder each other. And there will be one victor, or someone will be left behind, and it's probably on the cover. It's probably this guy. And what we know is that he's probably going to make it to the All New, All Different Marvel. How's that incorporated into things? We're going to let that unfold. But definitely this issue, you get the idea, like you finally figure out, okay, that's the big picture of this, is we get to see the 616 and, the Ultimate Universe just finally go at it, and it was all Doom's plan. Doom was involved. This is actually one of the few books in this whole run for the last couple weeks that White Doom, was showing up in the book. White Doom is in like the white uniform Doom, so God Doom, I guess I should call him. Battle World, Red Skull. This book actually was a lot better than the last one. In this one, Red Skull, he's beyond the wall, so there's the shield, and he's beyond it, and he's out there, and he's surviving. And he is plotting and scheming to overtake Doom. He thinks he's better than Doom, so he's going to come take him down. And so, why not? Red Skull can do that. So how's he going to do that? Well, he beats, Magneto shows up. He's thrown over the wall. They're trying to come do something, and he stops them. They get overwhelmed by zombies, and he rescues Magneto, and Magneto's got a inhibitor collar, and he's like, hey, dude, I can help you. And so he takes him to the Annihilation Wave. So once again, there's more references to things going on. He takes him to the Annihilation Wave, gets the collar off Magneto. Magneto's like, boom, it's on now. I'll help you take down the shield. And Red Skull's like, yes, I'll use you to take out the shield so I can get to Von Doom, because he's not a god, he's just a man. I am a god. Well, that's not what Red Skull says, but that's definitely what he thinks. So there's a plot going on here. It's tied into everything going on. So Red Skull's making a plan. He wants to be the top villain. Villain feuding is always good. Future Imperfect number 4. Once again, I'm a huge fan of this book. Greg Land art, writing by Peter David. Just lots of characters that I like seeing. And this one, finally, they're going on their mission. Once again, as we talked about before, Maestro is trying to work with Thaddeus Ross, who is the Thing, and they're going to work together to try to overthrow Doom. And in order to do that, they need to get a destroyer, one of the Asgardian destroyer, big robots, like the one from the movie with the big eye beam that just annihilates things, because that's going to be able to kill Doom, maybe. So, and this book's about their mission to get to that point, and the fighting that goes on between there, and who he has to fight. And there's a little tavern scene, and then you just mayhem and combat, and it's fun. Good book. Not as quippy as I would like from a Peter David book, but it's fun. It's fun to watch, and we'll see. Tune in next week to see, does Maestro beat Doom. So yeah, we have 2 books where you have super cool villains like Maestro and Red Skull, and they don't like the status quo, and they're going to make it less quo. My last 2 books are Guardians of the Galaxy related. I just love Guardians of the Galaxy right now. I'm sorry, I do. This one here is Guardians of Nowhere, and I couldn't talk about last week, but you can see on here there's a guy named Yotat. He's a new character, and he's introduced into this, so hopefully that's going to play out in future Guardians of the Galaxy stories. So I'm excited for that. We introduce this character, we learn about how he came into being and how he got his power, and his feud with Drax the Destroyer, like why he doesn't like him, why he doesn't like other people, and how he's related to Rocket Raccoon and all that. So we get a lot of flashback in this one. So it doesn't really progress the story, but we kind of learn things about Yotat, and he's just this kind of big. He's not really an exciting character. He's just a big bruiser guy, and he just beats people up and is just a killer. He wants to be the destroyer of the destroyer. Nothing wrong with that. But this is a fun book. Great art. It's Diodato. Highly recommended. If you've been reading Guardians of the Galaxy, keep reading Guardians of the Galaxy. It has not been disappointing. I have enjoyed every book that I have had of Guardians of the Galaxy or Guardians of Nowhere. Last but not least, this is my favorite book this week. Infinity Gauntlet number 3. All right. So we have this new Nova Corps, and there's a family, and it's kind of fun. A little bit of that Fantastic Four kind of feel. And we have these gauntlets, and Thanos has been lurking around. So what we find out is Thanos has the time gem, and he keeps failing for one reason or another. And Drax the Destroyer keeps destroying him, which is awesome. Like, I love seeing him beat someone. That's what Drax does. He beats up Thanos if he can. And so we find out that Thanos is going back in time, and he's trying to figure out a way to beat everybody, get the gauntlet together. He wants the Infinity Gauntlet. So what does he do this time? Well, he takes some risks. He goes back in time. He's trying to find this family, and instead of killing them before they get all the gems, he decides to ally with them and use them to get all the gems. It's like a cat's paw thing. And so in this one, we run into the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they kind of appeared at the last issue. And by Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean there's just 2 people. It was Gamora and Star-Lord. And so they get together, and he's trying to ally with them, and they don't know who Thanos is. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But they start finding gems, putting them together. They have an idea where other gems are. So this can only end badly for everybody. And so yeah, this is a good book. I love Thanos. The more and more I read Thanos stuff, the more I get excited about it. And this should be a cool little story. And we have the new Nova Corps thing that might come up in the all different Marvel. When the Infinity Gauntlet's involved, reality gets crazy. So highly recommend this book. Highly recommend this series. If you want a good series, get the Infinity Gauntlet. What does it have to do with things? I mean, it's tied in because it's in the Annihilation Wave area in the New Xandar. So, all right. Well, I'm at my time limit here. So just real quick, check out Secret Wars books. Come by 1730 West Eisenhower in Loveland. You can follow us on our Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Team Grand Slam. I'm trying to do more with that. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.